So I turned 21 a week ago, and I've been really thinking about the past 4 years, like specifically as a person and how college went for me, and my relationships with people and everything else about me. And I think there's a lot of things I would tell my 17-year-old self. So I really wanted to sit down and talk about it. I've wrote a few things down and I thought I could share it with you guys. In today's video, I will be sharing things that I knew at 17 now that I'm 21, and I will give this as like an older sister advice because I really wish that I had someone who told me about these things and told me to be careful or more responsible. But yeah, let's start the video. The first thing I will talk about is never put anyone or anything else before yourself. I kept everyone else's responsibilities to myself and I also took care of myself. I always felt like I should always be the one who's protecting everyone else, and I did not put myself before anyone else. I always felt that everyone else's actions were my responsibility, which leads to the second one, which is people don't always treat you how you treat them. You can give loyalty, understanding, and kindness, you can give everything, but that does not guarantee that a person will treat you the same, because not everyone has the same emotional capacity as you. That means that you should stop expecting things from others. This doesn't mean that you'll just accept them the way they are and let them treat you badly, but it just means that you need to stop expecting less from them if they can't give you more, and you need to probably be with people who will in fact give you more. And trust me, there will be more people in your life. If you feel invisible, you probably are in that space. I had a really huge problem of trying to be likable and trying to fit because I was alone in a city where no one knew me. So I always tried hard and always tried people pleasing, and I do tend to do that a lot, even though it's kind of decreased now. But yeah, I did do that a lot. So you should really be where you are valued and you can be yourself. You shouldn't try to fit in, because you're just going to end up attracting people who do not like the real version of you. So you should just be yourself and value your own identity and your own personality. I have always been told that I am too much, too sensitive, too loud, and too something. Like there's always something that I'm too excessive of, and I just want to say that you are never too much. You are only in a place that is too small, or you are only with people who cannot handle how you ooze out with emotions and empathy and all characteristics that you have. You are not meant to shrink according to people's expectations and their own needs. Not everyone is equipped to meet you where you are. Not everyone has the emotional capacity to understand you. You can't save people who don't want to be saved, especially family, especially people that you deeply love, especially people who you are really close with. If they don't want to be saved from the situation they're in, they cannot be saved. You are not responsible for the situation that they are in, and usually they are easily able to get themselves out of it, but they just choose not to do that. Do not expect everything you need from just one person. This is something that is entirely my fault, and all of these things were entirely my fault too. It might be like looking as if I'm blaming all the people, but it was my people pleasing habits where I went out of the way for someone and I expected them to do the same, which really backfired on me. And honestly, it exhausted me, but I kept expecting the same from people. People are imperfect, and I am allowed to be imperfect too. I don't always have to overly give and always have to be the best person for everyone else, and that really taught me how to go ahead on my own pace and not to always rush myself into a perfect relationship or a perfect situation. You don't owe anyone emotional labor, especially to the people who always make you feel invisible, who do not let you speak for yourself. You should stop over explaining yourself. Like, even just a little justification is fine, but over explaining just makes things worse. It shows that you're desperate, and that's not really the problem. The problem is that you are over explaining to someone who doesn't initially want to understand you and actually respect you on that level to give you that much space. If they really wanted to understand you, they would. Some people genuinely don't care beyond the surface, what's beyond the surface, and that's not your job to fix. Not everyone who claps for you, cheers for you, is your friend. I have tried to include people and make space for them and initiate connection, but some people do not want that. They never reciprocate. Learn to stop overgiving when there is no energy return. Sometimes you are your own enemy. I used to spend hours thinking about where I went wrong with people, and I still do. I always blame myself about what did I really do to drive people away. And the truth is, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. In fact, I did too much of overthinking about what these people thought of me or about what these people are doing against me when they are not even thinking about me at all. All those negative thoughts were just things that I made up in my head. And I became my own hater. I constantly criticized myself for things that nobody else pointed out or cared about, and that was a huge problem. I became more in control of my strengths and about what I'm good at when I let go of these thoughts. In fact, I'm still trying to do that. Don't be afraid to speak and confront. This is something that I'm still trying so hard to do, because I have been such a huge people pleaser almost all of my life, and it escalated when I was in college, that I really don't know how to confront people. Like, sometimes I have cut off people without even confronting them because I was just too afraid to be the bad person. But that is so wrong, because I become a worse person if I don't confront them. Although I know that it isn't entirely my fault for not confronting, I was just scared of a few things. I suppress my feelings a lot and I'm scared to express, but that is something that I'm working on to get rid of, because I'm 21 now and I cannot always excuse my fears or my insecurities to handle something. Not comparing myself to others. As I'm a people pleaser, I do tend to compare myself to others a lot on things that are not even necessary. I have come from a very different place and I'm going to go to a very different place from these people that I compare myself to. So there's no point in actually comparing myself to them when we have never had the same experiences that shaped us into being who we are today. Self-discipline isn't punishing yourself into perfection. There's a difference between wanting growth and being cruel to yourself. You should try to structure your goals and ambitions with care and not shame. You do not have to earn your rest or your food. I hope that's self-explanatory. Healing isn't like the 1 5-second reel you saw where there's a very perfect song. Healing isn't linear and it's not very quiet either. There will be a lot of rage and loneliness and loss of hope and faith, but that is a part of healing. And even if you don't feel like it, trust me, you are healing. And some days you will feel a range of emotions all in one day, but it's just a part of being human and there's nothing wrong with you. Don't confuse yourself with a lot of things. So, we are living in this age of social media and internet where there's so many things to try and so many things to do, but at one point you have to jot one thing down that you're really passionate about. Okay, maybe not just one thing, but maybe a few things that you're really passionate about, and you don't really have to do everything. It's okay to not be as good as the person who's on social media that's probably better than you in your field, but they are not your competition and you are still doing great. So instead of getting confused about what you're good at by constantly comparing yourself with other people, maybe you should only focus on what you can be good at and what you are good at. Confidence is not about telling people that you are worth something or posting yourself on social media, but it's the quiet trust that you have within yourself. When you don't need external validation and when you don't compare yourself to anyone else anymore, that quiet trust within yourself is the real confidence. People treat you how you teach them to. Boundaries are not meant to push people away, it's meant to filter out people who are meant to stay. Oh wow, that rhymed. The right friendships feel safe and not performative. If you have to constantly shrink yourself and act okay in front of them to keep them around, they are not your real friends. Energy and intuition does not lie. When something feels off, it usually is. Romanticizing your life isn't delusion, but it's a gratitude. It's about finding gratitude in the very little things that you are feeling happy about in your life. These little things always keep you grounded and inspired. Your 20s are not about having it all figured out. They're about collecting experiences. Try many different things and fail and win and literally do everything as an experience. Don't be afraid of failure and don't be afraid of anything. Clarity comes only from doing and not from overthinking about what's going to be right or wrong.